Join the CinemaSins team in Nashville for Sin Week 2023. Every year, we release extra videos for our Sin Club members and hold live panels with our friends and fans in person. Tickets to Sin Week are available at a discounted rate for the month of December. Space is limited, so head to cinemasins.com/SinWeek to reserve your spot today. A link is in the description.
Welcome to Sin Week! Woo!
39 seconds of map porn. Also, it's pretty bold to follow 2 minutes of mapping in the opening credits with yet another tracking map shot. Even Magellan doesn't like this much map.
The sea snake is going to die, isn't he?
Which one's the sea snake again? I'm getting really tired of having to pause and check previous notes every time a character talks. TV shows shouldn't require this much research. Remember when we just had to try and figure out which famous guest star was the murderer on Matlock each week? And if your next question is, what's a Matlock? I'd kindly like to ask you to get off my lawn.
I don't want Driftmark.
Maybe you should have spoken up a couple of episodes ago when they were clearing up your inheritance and that poor guy got his face bisected then. You can't let hesitation eat you alive, Lucerys. Not unless you're trying to egg on conversations that needlessly drag on.
We don't choose our destiny, Luke. It chooses us.
That's a weird way to say some people are born into rich and privileged families and some aren't, so quit being a whiny-ass kid and enjoy your unearned fortunes.
Do you want to know the truth of it?
Royal skip.
I was 4 and 10. Same as you are now.
What is this 4 and 10 nonsense? Look, we made our peace with spelling the names all weird with extra Y's and L's, but we draw the line of math. Just say he's 13, damn it, or I'll add 4 and 10 extra sins.
In time, I came to understand I had to earn my inheritance.
You don't earn an inheritance. It's something given to you when someone else dies. That's kind of the point. But you can earn a sin. That's much easier. See?
Not like you.
In what way, sweet boy?
Not so perfect.
You're also not still alive at the end of this episode, so Rhaenyra gets to one-up you twice in the next 56 minutes. These episodes are long.
Princess Rhaenys, might we hope for news of Lord Corlys's recovery?
Viserys is dead.
Man, there's ripping off the Band-Aid, and then there's being a dick. I'll let Cindy decide which side of that coin Princess Rhaenys falls on.
But that war is not mine to begin.
Well, you sure didn't look like someone who wanted to avoid war when your dragon ripped through the floor, killed hundreds of innocent civilians, and roared at the newly crowned king, but maybe I'm just oversensitive to little things like that.
We should leave Dragonstone at once.
And go where exactly? If the Greens have seized the throne, what safe haven exists for Rhaenyra, her kids, and their dragons? Unless you're offering an invitation for them to stay at Driftmark.
Babe is coming.
What babe? The babe with the power? What power? The power of voodoo? Hoodoo? You do. Do what? Remind me of the babe.
We've done this 5 times before.
Acting like that assessment matters a single dilated centimeter to the woman who's going into labor. I don't think the current mango-sized object passing through her vagina gives a about the previous 4.
I'm grateful for your long service to the crown, so I'm presenting you with a choice.
I wish we'd been shown the scene where Daemon is discussing with the dragon how it'll be more dramatic if it doesn't show up until after he said the word choice. All the pregnancies in this show have unapologetically detailed the harsh toll birthing takes on the human body, but this one manages to weave together Rhaenyra's suffering and her dragon's simultaneous pain as part of their bond against a backdrop of uncaring men determined to continue their warmongering. See, House of the Dragon, you can be worthy of a sin removal. Uncle husbands who show up after the baby's already been delivered. Oh, it's him. You know, the guy who did the thing. You know what? It. I can't fake that this moment holds any meaning for me at all. All because the show decided to spend so much time on Sir Kristen Mopey McMopey Face Cole instead of sowing the narrative seed of the bearded brothers. I don't know if this is deliberate or not, but this isn't nearly as moving as I think it's supposed to be. These people are swearing loyalty purely because of proximity. If they'd been in the crowd at King's Landing, they'd be bowing for Aegon. What's worse is that I'm certain the show knows this and yet still brings in the swelling music because it wants to have its "you're the true king of Gondor" moment. Okay, everyone, we're going to try something a little different in the finale. Let's bring in the sweeping music. And now stare into the middle distance. Middle distance, middle distance, middle distance. Keep staring, keep staring, keep staring. Middle distance. Work it, and cut to candles. Oh, this is going to blow people's minds. Okay, this table's pretty f***ing cool. In fact, it's so cool it makes me wonder why it wasn't used for the actual opening credits. Also, there could be books written on this franchise's obsession with maps, although I guess technically there already have been.
Lady of the Seven Kingdoms and protector of the realm.
She didn't bow her head. Make sure the audience sees that she didn't bow her head. That shit's important. Make sure they see it. Did they see it?
Daemon, none of our dragons have been to war.
Caraxes has been to war, right? Daemon flew his dragon defeating the crab feeder, remember? Or did you forget about that like Daenerys sort of forgot about the Iron Fleet?
There are also unclaimed dragons. Then there are the 3 wild dragons, all of whom nest here.
Wait, there are unclaimed dragons up for grabs? How the f*** is that a thing? If they're so crucial to, well, basically everything, why isn't there a wacky race to nab them, jab them, tab them, grab them, catch that dragon now?
I also have a score of eggs incubating in the dragon mound.
Yeah, but don't they take years to grow to a size that would be useful in an all-out dragon war? Okay, the war itself may go on for a while, but these dragons tend to get through cities in about half a disappointing finale amount of minutes, so I can't imagine it taking that long. Oh, hell yeah, now we're gonna see some action. Well, this is just them talking. Oh, wait, there comes a dragon. Yeah. And now she's getting off the dragon, and now we have more talking. What the f***, D?
I've been directed to deliver her message only to Princess Rhaenyra. Where is the princess?
Sure is cool that Rhaenyra has such impossibly long-distance hearing. That way, she could wait for Otto to ask for her, and then she could launch on her dragon at exactly the right moment to create an epic entrance. Is this bridge just under constant repair? Like, why didn't they build this bridge wider or build a specific landing spot specifically designed for gratuitous, look at me, I've got a dragon showboating? How did Rhaenyra even get off Syrax? It's a pretty narrow bridge, and her dragon takes up all of it. Did she climb down the back and crawl under the dragon? Or did she slide down the head?
I would rather feed my sons to the dragons than have them carry shields and cups.
I feel like that's a conversation the sons should at least have some say in.
Every symbol of legitimacy belongs to him.
Sure, but Aegon only has those symbols because you stole them for him, which nullifies the legitimacy part. If you robbed a bank, but also took all the receipts and paperwork with the cash and tried to pass them off as symbols of legitimacy, that probably wouldn't hold up in court. And if it did, we certainly wouldn't be sending TV shows. We'd be legitimately robbing banks with a crew that had both George Clooney and Brad Pitt and neat heist music and... What were we talking about again?
When dragons flew to war, everything burned. I do not wish to rule over a kingdom of ash and bone.
And that's writer code for, yes, we know you'd love to see a war of the dragons, but that would be very expensive and something we'll likely say for a later season when we've run out of beloved characters to kill.
The enemy have declared war. What are you going to do about it?
Adult kids. Also, I know Daemon plays the lovable rapscallion, but the way he's acting here is counterproductive, even for him. What good does it do to belittle Rhaenyra and risk her standing in the eyes of the very few lords she has at her side?
A Song of Ice and Fire.
At this point, my chief reason for wanting George R.R. Martin to finish the books is so that when the characters look directly into the camera to read their titles, they'll have more variety to pull from.
I've had men whipped for falling asleep on their watch.
This show should be whipped for having one of its most interesting characters sidelined for the last handful of episodes.
You are no man.
Taking Eowyn's tagline in vain.
Your brother is also dead.
Man, Rhaenys is the absolute worst at delivering bad news. This is by far one of the least incestuous pairings, but it's still not entirely free of it. Daemon's daughters are still engaged to his great nephew, so the sin here is that even when you don't think there's incest, there's probably still incest, no matter how strong these boys are.
A total blockade of the shipping lanes.
If there's one thing Star Wars Episode 1 taught me, it's that blockades of shipping lanes and trade disputes are guaranteed to make an exciting story.
The Triarchy have been routed. The narrow sea is ours.
Playing intense music and having Emma Darcy raise an eyebrow does not make the logistical gobbledygook that Lord Corlys is spitting out any more exciting.
Dragons can fly faster than ravens.
Well, scientifically speaking, I think that depends on a number of factors, the largest of which is whether the ravens are unladen. And don't even get me started on whether they're African or European.
It's been said that as Targaryens, we are closer to gods than to men.
Who said that? Could you please cite your source? Because that sounds fake as shit, and you're hardly impartial.
The Iron Throne puts us a touch closer, perhaps.
Yeah, but that throne killed your father by giving him leprosy or tetanus or leprotinus or whatever. Sure, that'll put you closer to the gods, but not in the way you want and only by way of a funeral.
I expect you will receive a very warm welcome.
Jeez, Rhaenyra, do you want to jinx him anymore? Maybe have him say something like, I'll be right back. Or tell the audience he just has a few days left until retirement from the Force.
Where's the bloody maester?
Why did you wait until now to ask for the maester? You saw a written message being handed to you, then you took another couple seconds as if trying to recall whether you could read it. Come on, Boros, keep your head in the game. This is the kind of attention span that gets Baratheons killed during hunting trips.
I want you to put out your eye.
Cool effect, but did he scoop out his own damaged eye and replace it with a blue gemstone? If so, why wear the eye patch if he's got a badass replacement eye? Is it because he didn't want to go to the Lannisters to extend the CGI budget? Is it?
Take Prince Lucerys back to his dragon. Now.
Phew, close call keeping the peace there. Now I'm sure he'll hold Prince Aemon for a little while to prevent any further violence, right? Right? Kicking a child out to fly home in a thunderstorm. Not only a child, but a prince. This is the worst thing I've seen a Baratheon do to a child since... Actually, scratch that. I forgot about the Stannis Shireen thing. Now I'm just extra sad. So here are 2 sins for Baratheons being awful to children. This entire climax is amazing. From the shots of Vhagar slowly stalking Arax in the storm to their desperate chase. It's the perfect way to end the season with a promise of more dragon fighting action to come in season 2. Also, Game of Thrones property decides to make the most exciting sequence in an episode barely visible. Cliché. Smart. Way to use the train and your dragon's smaller size to your advantage. Now I'm sure Lucerys will find a spot to land and hide in this tight canyon where Vhagar can't get him. Right? Right? I'm not sure what's more sinful here, the fact that Aemon is using this scenario to try and take an eye from Lucerys, or that he's under the impression Lucerys can hear anything he's saying. Aemon has the perfect eye up face, but seriously, he had to know this was a possibility, right? How else was he expecting to take them out of the sky? Wait, why are you looking at me like that? Aemon's the one that got your son killed, not me. Oh, it was the strong joke I said earlier, wasn't it? Well, the bridge that was our friendship appears to have been trampled by a contrivance dragon, so I may as well tell you, you're getting 20 extra sins for this season ends with the main character breaking the fourth wall cliche. Golly, does this show love staring?
It looks beautiful, but it takes a very long time for unsatisfying payoff. Give me the power, I beg of you!
The High Septon crowned Aegon in the Dragon Pit. I witnessed it myself just before I fled on Meleys.
Things that could have been brought to my attention yesterday!
And he chose me as his successor, to defend the realm, not cast it headlong into war.
But I was going into Tashi Station to pick up some power converters.
Where is Daemon?
He's at home! Washing his tights!
I came as a messenger, not a warrior.
Look what you did, you little jerk!
Cookie! Nom 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 nom. Oh, nom 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 nom.